Welcome to another episode of Breaking Into Cybersecurity, live Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you are joining us from LinkedIn, please make sure that you follow me and our amazing guest today. Oh, over this way, on LinkedIn. If you are following us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and then the notification button. And if you're following us after the fact on podcast, give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're using, write up a review, and share it with as many friends and families. That way, we can have as many people from as many different backgrounds as possible in cybersecurity. And today, our amazing guest, our military veteran, and amazing cyber analyst today. I'm gonna mess up your name because I didn't prepare it. Uh,
It's Chimeria.
Chimeria, thank you. Tell us. Let's start with your background. What was your background in the military, and what would you do there?
So my background originally started with like fitness. I did mortuary affairs. So what ours was services. So I did a lot of the services for the military. The one I was in the most was probably going to be the hospitality side, where there's lodging and obviously food and whatnot.
Okay, interesting. So, what once you got out of the military, what did you do?
So after that, I did do that for about 8 years, and I loved the people side, and so I decided to. Right after that, I went and I joined a company called Intuit, and I did some accounting. So I started with their TurboTax program, did LaCert, I did QuickBooks. I was there for a while, where I became a small business accountant for them for their QuickBooks. I liked that, but numbers was not my game. So I went back to lodging, and I did some human resources at a hotel. I started there as their front desk supervisor, and they just saw that I loved people, and they pulled me in. They asked me to be their human resources, and I was able to fill that position. I during this time too, I was a military spouse because I'd already gotten out. He was still in the military, and we moved a lot. So we went back to Texas from Arizona. I decided that I was just going to follow him wherever he went. I got back into fitness at a gym, and then I settled down into real estate, which I had been doing that for the last 6 years. So a lot of customer facing. And then during that time, I also went back to school for both computer information systems and business management.
Well, let's talk about that. What about cybersecurity really interests you?
While I did when I was in school for computers, I absolutely loved it. Um, I wanted to get back into computers, and then I saw that there was more. I love the site where you are investigating. I am huge on doing that, and so I saw a lot of people talking about getting into ethical hacking, um, just forensics, and forensics has always interested me, and so I think that's literally where my spark started in cyber was the digital forensics. um, I wanted to get into digital forensics until I saw that there was a plethora of a whole vast amount more in cyber. So I decided, let me just go back to school. Since we're here in Texas, we actually came back to our home state, our home city, and then I was like, well, since we're not going to move anymore, I can actually get foundations in something I want, and that was cyber. I went back to school just to get some basic certs and a feel for which, path into cyber I wanted, and that became just the analyst. And now that I've been doing that, I have my eyes on a few other spots within cyber now.
Okay, okay. Um, as you kind of did that self discovery about yourself, how did you end up on the cyber analyst side of things versus the plethora of other different roles that were available? How did you end up choosing it, or why did you end up choosing it?
Well, what was really good is I love networking, and so one of my biggest communities is on LinkedIn, and outside of LinkedIn, there's a few. There's the InfoSec Live, and then there's also the Discord community, where that's actually where I was able to talk to a couple of different people within that network that were in that field, and I was able to get some insight on the true workings of what it be that I do every day. And I decided, okay, I like that, but maybe I should get a stronger foothold on some of the basics. And so that's why I decided to just start as an analyst, see how much I like it. Because if I didn't even like the analyst part, why move any further if I mean, I need to know these things as, the beginning. So I talked to a number of people in different paths within cyber, and I really liked more of the customer facing, but I didn't want to be a consultant so much. So that's where I'm at now. Like, okay, what's the next step? Where can I do the most help? And I think recruiting or even a consultant is probably going to be in my sights.
Okay, okay. And what was your journey like in trying to get the skills needed? Because you came from a background where you have a variety of different roles, so you'll be importing some of your transferable skills, but there's also skills that you're going to need to catch up on. Did you find that you got those in school, or did you do other trainings that help you skill up in those areas to become an analyst and to do some of the hands-on cyber things?
I would probably say a lot of it's surprising because a lot of what I did um, throughout my career was like a lot of investigating, searching, looking for things, and so that definitely does help. Having a background with knowing what to look for, what's not like right, also help with that investigative side, which was what I do now. Definitely, it helped a lot with the school because they were able to teach me so many different things from the basics headers to look at, what is what is slightly suspicious and what's not suspicious, what should be the norm, how to verify like their certificates and what. Um, but then I'm also one that I like to just get and gain additional information. So one of my other tools is O'Reilly's, like their business and technical websites, like their library of stuff. There's like live events, there's interactive events, and then there's the books and audiobooks, which I absolutely love. So I can do that. I also dabble around with Try Hack Me, which is also fun. I love it. I try to stay with some of the capture the flags as well, because you can
Okay.
meet a lot of great people doing that too. So it's always great to just have someone in your network that you can, bounce a question off, which is that other part where I do ask a lot of questions within my community and get some of their input and what other options I have for trainings as well.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And I think whether it comes from the realtor or the services background in you, that networking piece seems to come out and benefit you a lot. And I think having the confidence to go out and network is something that a lot of people are scared of, and they don't do as often for that reason. So I commend you on that. We have Doreen's checking in saying that she loves audiobooks, and Try Hack Me is a great place to learn at your own speed. Absolutely correct, Doreen. And with regards to doing it at your own speed, how much time did you do it? Like, I know each person's different, their workload's different, but how much time per week or do you invest in that?
Initially, when I decided that this was what I was gonna do, I plunged in almost all my time. I was in school, I was looking at videos, I was reading, I was taking lords of notes. I had like post notes, I had postcards, I had um, just too many notebooks of notes. So it took a lot of my time, in, especially in the beginning. Now I will, if I'm working or I'll have something going on, I'll have a audiobook or a video training going on in the background. But I think that once every day I try to take some time to get some training in, if it's with an hour or two. Um, I have a very busy household, so I try to get in at least an hour. If I can get in an extra hour, it's always really, really great. So, while I'm cooking, I can listen to an audiobook or something, but I try to get in at least an hour a day.
I love that continuous education and that drive to learn. The no added time of an audiobook or leaving a lecture playing in the background and you pick up something here or there.
Exactly.
That's a great insight. Thank you for sharing that. Um, and for those that have a busy life that are working, um how much time do you spend on networking? Like, you're working all day, you have a busy family. How much of that did you spend on networking as you were looking for a new role?
Um, I feel like I'm already naturally a people person. I just can't not be around people. So, if you were within our community, everyone's probably shaking their head. But I think that I never stop networking. If I'm busy and someone shoots a message, "Hey, do you know about this?" I'm pretty quick to say, "Yeah, like this is the information I have." So a day, I'm always usually on some type of network. I was a little intimidated at first with LinkedIn, and but then I realized like networking is one of the best things that you can do when you're breaking in, because there are, I was actually going to write about it, but you never know who that next person is that you're actually talking to. You may think, well, they're just new, or they're over my head. Like I can't even match, their intellect, but you never know what connection you're going to make. And so network with everybody, because you could actually be helping someone. And that's something that, I absolutely love doing with the volunteer work that I do with um, books to books. So yeah, I really like I love it. I mean, boots to books. So you always see me networking for sure. I think it's a great thing, because a lot of times companies are looking at you. They won't probably say it, but they're looking, and sometimes I'll reach out and say, "Hey, I think this is a really neat spot for you. Are you interested?" And I'm not necessarily speaking on the recruiters, but I feel like you make yourself a nice presence out there. Someone's going to see that.
Absolutely agree. And I think the fact that you're putting yourself out there, even volunteering, right? To a group that has that cyber or that step in the door in the cyber community, you open yourself that much more to network with them. And the other good point is even network with those that you think are above you, because you could teach them something too. Like, they might not know about the TikToks and the Instagrams, and you can help them with that. You can help
Exactly.
them with the new trends that you pick up naturally, but you're like, I don't know, like I don't even look at that. Um,
That's true.
and I was talking to someone just yesterday. They're like, "Oh yeah, I create stuff in the metaverse," and I'm going, I kind of have a clue what the metaverse is, but I probably would never create anything in there. But
It's
good for
insane.
you for doing it.
No, it's very true. Like I feel people always assume that networking is a one-way street, and it never should be. And it's always a two-way, because you never know what you're teaching the other person. There's mentoring, there's mentee, like there's so many different avenues just networking. So definitely, definitely. I always push it when I talk to veterans is network is so freaking important.
And I want two things there. I mean, A, you're a veteran, so you probably have several different veteran groups that are available for mentoring. But then the other thing is, you do you have different mentors for different aspects of your career? Like I know I do. Um, and I think that's important for many people to learn. There's no just one mentor. There might be like a marketing mentor,
Mhm.
a technical mentor, a business oriented mentor, like because you need all the different facets to have a complete role. Same thing for mentors, like, have
True.
lots of mentors, and you might only talk to them, like, once a month or once a year,
Mhm.
depending on your need, but have them in your life, keep them in your sphere.
Yes. Yeah, mentors are definitely great because I see myself differently than someone on the outside, and I think that a lot of us do. So it's really great to have someone that you can trust to tell you, okay, you need to stop putting yourself in this box because you're far greater than that. And that's always great because then you can kind of see, okay, I maybe you're right. Like maybe I need to stop limiting myself. I have a business slash like education mentor who helps me like what do you want to do, these are the things. She definitely pushes me to start like make sure you take this class or make sure you're looking at the programs or the courses before you enroll into that class. And then I also have my cyber side mentor, which is a really big group. And then I have a more of a women's cyber group where that's amazing too because there's so much information out there, and it's great to just zone in at one thing at a time with that mentor so that you can, okay, these are things I need to do, but you don't have like globs of information being thrown at you. You have streams that you can slowly take in the information when you have a mentor right there with you.
Okay. Wow, I love it. Let's talk a little bit about your job hunting approach. As you looked for a cyber role, what was your approach to that job hunting? Like, how'd you go about it?
Initially, I went like, "Oh my god, no one's gonna hire me," because of my background. But once again, that Discord network was like, "You're crazy. That's ridiculous. You need to really look at the skills that you built up and how they transfer into cyber." Once I was able to do that, then I was able to approach it like, who would not want someone with a multifaceted eye on what's out there in cyber, you know? So then once I changed my output on myself, I went and I looked at positions that I don't think that I felt that I could not get, but it did not stop me from looking into the company. Myself, I didn't do a large spread on applications. I would really one of the first things I did was always I investigated the company because I knew I was going to spend a lot of time with them. So I looked at what company I wanted to be a part of, what their culture was like, how they treated their employees. And so I was that creep that would slide into LinkedIn and say, "Hey, you work for such and such company. How do they treat you? How long have you been there? And what do you like about it? What are the things that you don't like about it?" And so that's where I gained my insight. And then I was able to find about three companies that I really wanted to be a part of. And those are the companies that I sent applications to.
Wow. So how many informational interviews do you think you did for each company or a specific role in a company?
I had about collectively, so within the three companies, I had about seven interviews. I had about seven total interviews.
Okay. I mean, that's a significant amount of time even before applying to consider for these organizations.
Well, I'm sorry, no, not 7. The initial was 3. I had a 3 initial. Yes, sorry
Okay.
about that.
Oh, no problem. So as you're doing these informational interviews, like what are the things that you look for in a company?
I actually love when they open the time and ask me, "What are you looking for with us? What is it?" And I like to hear that there's availability to grow. Like if I'm going to stick with you, how am I going to be able to grow? What are the benefits of sticking with you? What are you offering your employees to keep them happy? And how are you showing that value to them? One of the biggest things is I love staying with the company and growing, but I want to know that you're going to take care of me because it's like a relationship. I always look at it like a relationship. Like I don't want to start. It's like nice, we're dating, but what happens? Like, are we going to be able to flourish this more? Am I going to just go for, am I going to be brokenhearted for a little bit, looking for something else? So I definitely ask, how are you going to treat me? How is this going to benefit the both of us? What are we going to do to better the company? So I definitely look at a long range of stuff, not only long range, but like short, like, are you going to help me develop myself as well?
I love that you use that relationship dating analogy because I do the same thing. Like when a hiring manager goes, "Oh, we went with someone else. You were great, but you weren't the best fit." I'm like, "Okay, cool, bye."
Yeah.
Like it's like dating. It's you have to find the right fit, and one person might like it, the other person might not, so you have to find that fit where both people like it, and that there's that commitment there and that interest there. So
Yes.
I love that analogy. um so you went through these interviews. Did For these three companies, did you apply at them, or did you use your networking to kind of slide into the role?
Two companies I did just find and I applied. Um, the third one, I actually was able to use my network and I was able to get in a internal referral, which is the company that I'm with right now.
Oh, wow. So that internal referral kind of got you to the top of the stack and at least made sure you got an interview.
Exactly. Yes, that was the one I actually got through networking. So for sure.
Okay, okay. Um, for other women coming out of the military or just having being at home, having a big family, and they're interested in cyber, what recommendations would you have for them kind of following in your path?
I would say that don't be intimidated. Like, I feel like whenever I decided to come back into cyber, I was very intimidated because I hung around a lot of different people, different titles, different paths, and I was thinking, "Oh my god, maybe I'm a little too late to the party." But it's not like that. I feel like if you get into a really great, just connect to a great community, connect to a great network, and I don't see those problems anymore. I'm not saying like I'm better than everyone, but I feel welcomed and I feel like that there's just so much out there. There's so many people that are truly out here to help you. So don't be intimidated by, like, I feel like we go out into a situation and we feel intimidated, and just kick that whole wall down and just show the world like what it is that you have, because we need it.
Wow, so inspirational. I know you have a time commitment after this. So I want to ask you one last question before touching on this comment from Doreen. I had the same fears when I got back into cyber, but yes, it's never too late to join the party. So true. Um, but our last question is, if you had to summarize everything into one piece of advice, for anyone out there listening that kind of wants to follow in your path, what is that?
It's going to go back to networking because there is the key. I At first I was like, there's no way, like networking, but networking is so significantly important because the more you network, the more people see you, the more they're going to open up to help you. So definitely network, because you can get tidbits from people that you never thought that you could. You can get those doors to open a lot easier when you make a presence for yourself. So definitely, I have friends that are introverted and what I tell them is find someone that you can connect to that is extroverted, because they'll bring you into that community and try to get you involved. And I know that's how I am with some of my introverts. So just please network, because it is so valuable. It's really, really valuable to get yourself out there.
Fun. Well, thank you so much for your time. I just want to acknowledge one last um, viewer, Jessica Bishop, over on YouTube. She says this is incredibly inspirational. Thank you, everyone. Follow myself and
Chimeria.
Chimeria, I'm sorry, um, on LinkedIn. For those of you on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and that notification button. And then for those of you on podcast, please give us a rating on your favorite platform and join us next time, 1 p.m. on Friday. Thank you all. And thank you, Shamira. I said
Thank
it
you.
right. Yes.
You did.
Thank you all.